What's going on, it's the RapNerd, and I just got out of seeing Captain America: A Brave New World, and this is the fifth entry in the Captain America series within the MCU. And in this film, we follow Sam Wilson, who has now been appointed the role as Captain America officially, and General Ross has now become President of the United States. And as these two are working their journeys of their new positions, there is something going on, pulling strings, making things go wrong, and it's up to both of them to find out what's going on before they become part of that problem. Very vague, I know, but if you watch the trailer, it gives you a better instance of that. And also, if you're watching the review for Captain America 4, I'm assuming you are up to date with everything, so I'm just going to move forward with that, right? And no spoilers as well. So this film is a mixed bag, and I'm going to start by saying that I actually enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it. It was entertaining, but there are some things that are undeniable, and some of the hardships that this movie is getting are from a valid place, and I'm going to get into that first. So the thing about this film is it's solid. You know, it's okay, but I think with the MCU having hundreds of movies now or hundreds of properties, okay and just, being solid isn't really good enough, honestly. I think that this movie doesn't really offer anything new that we haven't seen in MCU. It's not fresh. It doesn't take big swings. I think it keeps it very safe. If I had to compare it to a film, I would say it's a lot like Black Widow, in the sense that there's stuff to like about this film. It's an action thriller. There are some good action sequences, some nice choreography, none of which is over the top or like great that you might remember, but it's all good and it'll entertain you as you watch it. But it's also a drop ball and a missed opportunity, because there are definitely places you could go, and I feel like this film and Black Widow both fit that. There are definitely places that they could have gone to dig deeper into these characters, whether it be in their psyche or just from a government type standpoint. There's a lot of things that they could do, but they share the same issues, in my honest opinion. So it's not anything fresh. And when I talk about dropping the ball for Captain America: A Brave New World, I feel like the elephant in the room here is the fact that Sam Wilson is a black Captain America. And I thought that they would have doubled down on that in the movie, because they addressed that in the TV series, and that's one of my favorite parts about that TV series. He even says flat out, in the series somewhere, where he was like, I know everyone's not going to be okay with a black man being Captain America. And you even have, I think Bradley Shaw is his name, who was a Winter Soldier from back in the day, who says no respecting black man would wear that shield. Like, to me, there's something there that you can use, right? Like I would love to see them move forward in the film and address that, like Cap on the streets and showing, the America we live in, some bits of racism there is like not being, okay with Cap being a black man, or even aside from that, I'm pretty sure there are people who aren't racist, but they just don't think Captain America deserves it. I would have loved to see this Captain America amongst the people, and how the people actually feel about this Captain America, similar to what we're seeing in James Gunn's Superman. We see Superman getting a can thrown at him because everyone's not happy with him, and we've seen it in the past too with Batman versus Superman, with Superman being this character of hope and all of that, and part of the American ways, that people aren't happy with him. I wanted to see some of that in the story, and we don't get any of that. I feel like that is a huge missed opportunity, especially with the world we live in today. That could have been something to just pump this movie up a lot, and I feel like the movie needed that to say something. I understand that a lot of people call this movie hollow, and I feel like that kind of is the case. This movie doesn't have much to say about anything. It plays out more like a villain of the week comic, but that you're just reading, and it's all based in this world of villainy and tying things back with old films, which I thought was pretty cool. I will say that I did like that aspect as well, but I just feel like it didn't do anything fresh. We're in the MCU almost a decade and a half now. Let's try some new things, and that really is the core of the issue. And of course, you have some CGI problems. Still don't know how Marvel's dealing with. I feel like just give the artists more time, or just give a solidified plan so that they can get everything down to a T. But I guess that just kind of comes with it. So with that being said, right, if this movie weren't an MCU film attached to so much history, it would probably be held to a higher standard because you don't have anything to compare it to, and you don't have history within these characters and stock in the story the way you would somewhere else. You know, as a one-off, if somebody just dropped this movie, you know, out of nowhere without, you know, having that much history to it, it would be considered better, I think, across the board by many people. But I understand the gripes that we expect more. You know, there's more that can be done. We need to ramp up the creativity. That aside, I still enjoyed the film for what it is because the Cap series has stuck to a specific tone that I like. It takes itself very seriously. It feels dangerous. There are a lot of mysteries and whodunit behind things here. And I like that kind of stuff. It keeps me intrigued. And again, the action is pretty cool. Again, nothing spectacular that I'm just like, oh, that sequence was great. But it's enough set pieces in here to scratch the action junkie itch that I have. And I think that there are some scenes that are pretty well choreographed. And then there are some that are like, and that's part of the problem too. I think if we were going to go safer with the content, I think everything else should have been done at a very, very high level to kind of be like, okay, well, we're not doing any commentary, but the action in here is kick-ass. Because I feel like Winter Soldier did that perfectly. The movie doesn't really have a, core theme to it as far as messaging goes, but the action is so good. Hell, the action is so great in that film, it doesn't matter. It's executed very, very well, but you don't really get that here. But one of the highlights of the film, I would say, are the acting from, Harrison Ford and Anthony Mackie, as well as the guy who plays Shaw. I think those three fellas' performances in this film really stuck out to me because you felt the emotion from every single one of them, and they're all men struggling with themselves, which I feel like is a great thing to show. And I said it earlier, but I really like how they tied in some threads from some earlier MCU movies that I didn't see coming. I thought that was a nice way to bridge the gap between the old and the new. So I'm going to stop there because I don't want to get into any type of spoilers, but I just wanted to set the expectations for folks who are interested. If you're going in here expecting something fresh and new, you're not going to get that at all. It's more of what we've seen before. But if you just want an entertaining action thriller, this movie will work for you. So if you've seen the film, let me know in the comments what you thought. Do you agree with my points or do you disagree? Let me know. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace. RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.